Gully.
Hello, motherfucker.
Oh, come on. Hello. Hello, everyone. It's been a while. Oh my god. Oh, what is happening right now? Yumi, thank you so much for the resub. Hello, hello, hello. Wait. Hello, Law. Hello. Hi, Master. Hey, Gracie. How are you guys? It's been a while. Give me like 1 second. I forgot to do a sound check. Are you good? I'm alive. It has been a rough time these past few weeks, but I managed. Yumi, are you back home? By the way, are you back home yet? Are you on your way home? Where are you right now? Oh my god, it's my Oshi. It's my Oshi. It's Foxy Lily VT. Holy hell. Okay, hold on. Let me... Can you... Oh god. Can you guys hear me? Alright? Because I have not done a sound check. I'm a bit silly like that. Oh, you're at the airport boarding soonish? Okay. Good luck with your flight. Okay. You sound good to me? Okay. All right, thank you. Hi, Super. Hello, everyone. Hold on. Floresta and Yumi, thank you so much for the resubs. I don't really deserve it, but thank you. Berlin Airport is currently completely overrun by people in Final Fantasy XIV merch. Hell yeah. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. Nibby, congratulations on getting first. Congratulations. You are so fast, like holy hell. I didn't even warn anyone that I would be live today, but you were like right there, like 3 seconds later. Are you ill? I am extreme. I'm extreme. Fucking hell, I can't even talk. Extremely tired. I'm not really that ill right now, but I am tired. I've had a rough couple of weeks, I'm gonna tell you that much. Like a stroke, Ellie. Please stop. I'm not having a stroke quite yet. Hi, Song, by the way. Me too, girly pop. Yeah, Nibby and I have been going through it, guys. I'm sorry there were no streams for a while. Hello, Anab. Hello. How are you? Like, so, as you guys know, I don't do well with the heat. So, because of that, I couldn't stream for a little while because we were going through a really bad heat wave here. So, I decided to just keep my PC off, like, altogether while, you know, that was going on. And, like, right afterwards, right when it started to, like, cool down a little bit, and I was ready to go back to streaming, my cat Einstein got, like, really, really sick. Like, he got extremely sick. So bad, in fact, that he had to have an emergency surgery at some point. But I'm gonna tell you guys about that in a second. Hi, Aith. Hello. I'm doing stuff, so I have to lurk. Of course, Greasy, of course. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the lurk. But yeah, Einstein needed emergency surgery. So if, hold on. Give me a second. I want to close some windows. I'm a bit distracted here. It's good to see you, Gubo. How are you? I'm very tired. I'll explain why I'm so tired too. Heatwave, allergies, Einstein, and the usual shit. Exactly, Song. I've been going through it, man. But yeah, so if you know Einstein, you would know that he is like the most food-motivated cat I know, right? Like he is. If you put out any food, he's gonna run towards it. He never runs. But if he smells food, he's running. So he's like he's like the most food-motivated cat I know. So like I sometimes even have to stop him from like trying to steal Lucy's food. That's how bad he is sometimes. But yeah, so you can imagine that how fucking worrying it was when he suddenly started to refuse his breakfast one morning, right? And then he also refused his lunch and dinner that day. I chalked it up to it like being a really hot day. That was like, right, like at the end of the heat wave. It was still pretty hot, but like not as hot as before. But like it was hot, right? And he is a British Longhair, which means he has a lot of fur, and he usually is really like struggling in the heat and stuff, which is why we shave him like right before summer. But he still has so much fur, he still suffers, but at least not so much. So him not eating, I was just thinking like maybe the heat was getting to him, right? But like even the day after, he still didn't eat anything, even though it was like a much cooler day. So I eventually decided to go to the vet with him. Like a cat not, like if you don't know, a cat not eating for more than like 24 hours is considered an emergency in most cases. Especially when there's a heat wave, because he also didn't drink anything, he refused anything. So yeah, they like saw us right away because of that, because it was an emergency. So the vet checked him, and like he couldn't really see anything wrong with it during the checkup. He also wasn't really super dehydrated at that point, and they did an ultrasound, and nothing really looked off there anyways, except like some gas. So at first we were thinking like maybe he's just a very gassy boy these days and is just in a little bit of pain. So the vet gave him some medicine and sent us back home, and she also sent us back home with a lot more medicine for him to take, which he was supposed to take like 3 times a day. Bro, if I didn't eat for like 12 hours, I would be concerned immediately. Yeah, exactly. So he needed to take medicine 3 times a day. But she also said, like right before we left, that he should start feeling like better right away. So he should start feeling better once we get home, basically, right? And like once we got home, he actually calmed down a little bit from the car ride as well. And then he actually started eating like a little bit of his favorite liquid snack. So I was super relieved. Like I was super happy. I was like, okay, maybe he really is just a gassy boy. Maybe the medicine is helping. Until like an hour later, when it was time for his medicine, for me to give him. And unfortunately, he couldn't keep that medicine down at all. Hello, Retro, how are you? So the medicine he needed was like in liquid form, which I had to put in like a small like syringe thing, without a needle, of course, and basically like shoot that into his mouth. But the moment I did that, he started like foaming at the mouth, which is like not super unusual when it comes to that type of medicine because it's kind of bitter. But it usually stops after a few minutes. So that wouldn't like even be his first rodeo. It's not the first time he had to take like medicine like that. So I know how he reacts to that sort of stuff. But anyways, it didn't stop after a few minutes. And after that, he actually started foaming at the mouth and like drooling excessively at like random times. And then I realized that foaming and that drooling always happened when he smelled some food nearby. Because obviously I still had to like feed Lucy, right? So I would have a heart attack in that situation. So just in case, if any of your cats ever need like really bitter medicine like that, Foxy, the foaming at the mouth is super normal, as long as it goes away for after a few minutes. It's not rabies or anything like that. But yeah, so it looked like he was starting to feel really ill the moment he smelled any kind of food nearby, which again is super fucking concerning for a cat like him because he loves food. He loves food so much. He would do anything for food. So yeah, he couldn't even smell food anymore without feeling nauseous. And like he even started to throw up like white liquid because he didn't have anything else in his fucking stomach. Like he didn't have any food, he didn't have any water inside his, stomach, so nothing really came out, but he was suffering. And he was like literally like suffering constantly at this point. You could really see that he was suffering because cats usually like really hide when they don't feel well because it's like a survival instinct. And like the moment you can actually see that they're not feeling well is the point where you have to get like really concerned about him. So at that point, like at that night, I didn't sleep at all because I was just monitoring him like constantly until we could go back to the vet. Cats are the masters of hiding pain, which sucks for us. Exactly. You never really know what's going on with a cat until it's almost too late. And also, while all of this happened, by the way, my other cat Lucy was fucking stressed as well. Because her brothers didn't really smell like her brother anymore. He smelled like vet and medicine. So just in case you don't know, smells are basically like a cat's entire life. If one of their own smells off after like a vet visit or even something like that, even if it took only like an hour at the vet or something like that, they sometimes start to reject their housemates because they smell like an intruder in their own home. So, like even seeing Einstein, it didn't really help much at all because she couldn't recognize his smell. So, And that means that sometimes they get really aggressive towards that quote-unquote intruder. So, like, all that recognition stuff is all scent-based, right? So she was a little bit aggressive towards him, which stressed poor Einstein out even more. So I had to keep them, like, separate because of that. Thankfully, my place has, like, enough space so I can do that comfortably, but it was still fucking stressful. Smokey had that a bit when his kids got their balls chopped. He was weird about them for like a day, but then went back to chill. Yeah, as soon as they like lose the vet smell, everything is mostly going to be okay in most cases. But anyways, so I didn't sleep a wink that night because I was monitoring him, and then I went straight back to the vet, like the next morning. And unfortunately, he was really, really dehydrated at that point. So the vet decided to keep him in the clinic for some time because they wanted to put him on an IV so he doesn't die from fucking dehydration. And they also wanted to do some CT scans and all that because that way they can check more thoroughly what's going on inside of him. Because why is he feeling this way? I tried so hard to keep it together on the way back because I really fucking hated leaving him there. You know, it's the worst fucking thing to having to have your cat like stay at the clinic. But like, it gave me a bit of comfort to know that it is one of the top clinics in my area. Like even pet owners from like other countries traveled to that clinic because it's one of the best ones. So at least I knew that he was in good hands. Pretty fucking expensive though, I would tell you that much. It costs a pretty penny. I know that feeling, it fucking sucks so much, yeah. So yeah, at least I knew he was in good hands. But I was still a fucking nervous wreck, don't get me wrong. I was not doing well at all. And like, so after like an hour or so after I arrived back home, the vet already called me and they told me that they think they found the cause of his suffering. So basically, his colon, right, somehow ended up folding into itself, which caused him like a lot of pain and like obviously a blockage. So So he needed to get like an immediate emergency surgery because that's fucking life-threatening, right? They had to cut that part out and like basically sew it back together. And also to see what the fuck even caused it, because it sometimes happens when a cat swallows something it shouldn't, like a string or something. But yeah, we didn't know because they didn't see anything else in there. They didn't see anything that looked off or like a foreign object or something. And yeah, so we obviously agreed to the surgery. And yeah, so he already had his emergency surgery like an hour later. Also, by the way, that colon thing, that can happen to humans too, by the way. But yeah, I'll get back to that later. Anyways, so he got his emergency surgery like right away. And I was a fucking mess at that point. Like a small little creature like that needing to be cut open is one of the scariest things to go through. Because so many different things could happen, right? Like so much stuff could go wrong in that case. So I sat there for like hours, like constantly just crying my eyes out with like Lucy next to me because she obviously sensed that something was really wrong because her brother was suddenly nowhere to be found, right? Also, like, despite her being, like, really aggressive towards him to this point, I could still see that she missed him a little bit as well, because she ended up sleeping at his usual sleeping spots, like his favorite spots and stuff like that, which she never did before. So she definitely missed him too, even if she didn't recognize him before. Thanks, new fear unlocked. I will just stop eating at this point. Well... It doesn't just happen with food, by the way. But yeah, she really missed him, so that fucking wrecked me as well, dude. So the vet called me like a few hours later and told me that the surgery was successful. However, they could not find anything unusual inside his colon, so the cause definitely wasn't like a foreign object or something like that. So the part that they cut out was a bit hardened, and it looked a little bit like a tumor, but they weren't entirely sure if it was just that or if it was just a really bad irritation. So they asked me if I wanted to send it into the lab, which I obviously said yes to. Because it could also be some like rare condition, right? That needs like constant medication and care for for the rest of his life. Cats are really fickle like that, you know? So, Ellie, you could have just said you needed some distractions at the 17. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, not talking about it was kind of a distraction, you know what I mean? But yeah, so yeah, obviously they kept him overnight to monitor him. So I basically just sat on fucking hot coal the entire time. Is that the saying? Like sitting on hot coal? I don't know, maybe that's a saying in another language, but you know what I mean. Like I generally couldn't sleep because I was so fucking scared of getting a call from them. Because if you get a call from them outside of their inpatient call hours, it's a really bad sign. So I was stressed. So that was the second night in a row where I didn't fucking sleep a wink. I think I passed out every now and then for a few minutes or so, but I always like jerked back awake. So they called me, but at least during their normal hours. So that was a pretty good sign at least. But the vet told me that he still refused to eat, which was not good. It was probably because he was so stressed and in a strange environment with other sick cats and like people he didn't know and shit like that. Like anyone would be stressed at that point. And also like he was probably very obviously in pain as well, like after the surgery, despite the pain meds they gave him. Also, thank you for the lurk, Foxy. Thank you. So they kept him for another night, which was another night where I basically didn't get any sleep because of the same reason as before. So yeah, that was like I was like awake for like 3 days and 3 nights straight at that point. 4 days and 3 nights basically. Yeah, that's what it was. Cats hide pain too well when on medication, and they're the worst when forcing them to take it. Exactly. When you do notice their pain, sometimes it's too late. I love cats, man, but what the fuck? Exactly. Like, I wish they would I wish they would show if they are uncomfortable or something like that. But yeah. Where was I? Oh yeah, so the next day, they called me again after at their normal hours and told me that he was finally eating a little bit. So finally, there was like a light at the end of the tunnel. And he seemed in better spirits too, so they said I could come and pick him up, which I obviously did as soon as I could. He looked a lot better when I got there, and he was actually a bit vocal again, which is a good sign for him at least. He had to, like, if you saw it in the Discord, I posted a picture of him in his little recovery suit. And yeah, he needed a lot of medication and attention. Hello, Alex. Hello. So yeah, he needed a lot of medicine and a lot of attention. So he got all that, obviously. I had to keep Lucy and him separated though, because after such a long stay in the clinic, there was absolutely no fucking chance she would recognize him. So to prevent that stress, I kept them apart for a few days, which in turn was okay for Einstein, but was very stressful for Lucy, because why is she suddenly stuck in the kitchen this whole time? She didn't like that. But yeah, it had to be done. I still didn't really sleep much throughout those days, because I was really worried about him suddenly starting to feel unwell again, because there could always be something, you know? especially like with the surgery scar and all that. And I was also worried that his body would suddenly like start rejecting the medicine again. So I was basically a fucking walking corpse for a while. I can't even remember like a lot of details anymore from those days, because mentally I was just fucking dead. So despite all that, despite my one of your pets is called Einstein. Yeah, he looks like Einstein. Hold on, I'll show you. I'll show you how he looks like. You will understand why that's his name. Where is he? There he is. Oh. Hold on, let me shrink it down a bit. Fit to screen. There. That's Einstein. That's him in his little recovery suit. He does look like an Einstein. But like, don't let the name fool you though, because he's really stupid. But yeah. he's a little cat sausage in that picture, yeah. But yeah, sorry to hear you had such troubles, so it's okay, it's okay. Like, all of this has a good ending, by the way. I should have prefaced that. He's doing well. But yeah, so after coming back home, he kept getting better. Everything was also really well at his like post-surgery checkup that we had last week. The scar is like healing really nicely, and he finally doesn't have to wear the bodysuit anymore. So he's finally free again. He's a free boy. I also managed to slowly reintroduce Lucy to him again, and that worked with a lot of fucking patience. So now they're friends again with their occasional normal fights. So at least they can like be together again in the same room without Lucy hissing at him and wanting to like, you know, probably rip his throat out. Oh, and Einstein also doesn't need to take any meds anymore now. He is like doing good. He's eating like a fucking Big Mac again. He is back to his fat ass self. Oh yeah, and also, okay, yeah, I didn't even mention that. So that small part of his colon, then they had to cut out and send it to the lab. So fortunately, the test results all came back perfectly healthy. There's nothing wrong with him, and they couldn't find anything unusual, which is good news, but also like, it also didn't really give me any fucking answers to how the fuck that even happened to him. Like, how does your fucking colon just start to fold into itself at some point without, you know, any apparent cause? So I guess sometimes that just somehow happens for no fucking reason whatsoever, which is kind of scary to think about, that that can't just fucking happen like that. And like, as I said earlier, that can happen to fucking humans too. So I'm like, I hope my fucking colon fucking behaves now. Something he ate got stuck and dragged the colon along a bit. Yeah, that could have been it, maybe. If you feel the need to end stream to sleep, then please do so. Your health is also important. Yeah, I know, but I have stuff to do later, so I figured, you know what? I'm gonna take a break from everything and come back to stream for a little bit, so I can at least tell you guys what the fuck happened to me this past month and a half, where I wasn't even like anywhere to be seen. But yeah, so anyways, so everything is starting to get back to like a normal routine again. I still haven't caught up on the sleep I lost yet though. I still feel fucking constantly tired, which, if you guys remember, I started going off of like caffeine. Like, I stopped drinking coffee for like health reasons, right? So I wouldn't have to be like fucking addicted to it anymore, which kind of doesn't help me in this situation right now. I wish I could go back to coffee, but I'm not. I cannot fall back into that hole again. So I'm trying really fucking hard right now to not make a cup of coffee. Couldn't be me. I also return with my lamb chops and burger. Oh my god, hell yeah. So we don't get a Foxy situation? No. Hi Ellie, thank you for the resub. Also, I'm sorry guys, I don't know why my alerts are not working. Hold on. Oh, that's because they were off, my bad. Can you eat thank you for the headpad. Can you eat apples instead of coffee? Has similar effects. I could, but it doesn't give me the same kind of... How do I explain that? It doesn't really help that much, you know? Like apples and green tea are definitely nice for like a small like energy boost, but it's not the same as coffee. I really miss it sometimes. Also, hi tokens, by the way. I'm so sorry I didn't say hello to you. I was like in the middle of recalling what happened to my cat. Is it caffeine you're avoiding or just coffee? I mean, mostly coffee, because I didn't just use coffee for like an energy boost or its caffeine. I also used it as like a mood boost, which is not really the healthiest thing to do. You shouldn't really I drank coffee when I felt sad, when I felt happy, blah blah blah. It's like a sugar addiction, but just as bad, basically. Apples keep the doctor away. What is Dr. Ali meant to do with that? Yeah, you know what? You have a point there. I shouldn't eat apples. I'm suddenly fade away if I eat too many apples. But yeah, nah, man, I'm trying to like live a healthier lifestyle, but everything is just fucking me up the ass these days, honestly. Whenever I try to fucking improve something really major happens and tries to drag me back into this hole of fucking unhealthy caffeine and sugar and shit like that. I don't want that. But yeah, what about the British classic of a cup of tea? A cuppa? I mean, I do like tea too, but it's still not the same. But yeah, I'll manage, I guess. I'll manage. So yeah, I'm really fucking tired now, like constantly. I'm also very broke, but that's totally okay. I'm just really glad that he's alright and healthy now. He's generally such a problem child with his health, man. But I definitely always make sure he gets the best care I give him, and Lucy too, of course. Even if he keeps my fucking bank account like empty. Still much cheaper than having children. Human children. Still much cheaper than human children. But I could have bought a fucking car with those surgery costs. That's all I'm gonna say. This this fucking cat is expensive. But at least he's okay now. I'm sorry, but Einstein is looking at us like you're the ones at fault. Well, maybe it is your fault. What if it is your fault? What if it is? You know? Oh shit. Oh my god, my OBS almost crashed. Okay, I'm not gonna touch anything. I tried to look for more pictures of him, but maybe I shouldn't do that. They charge more for pet surgery than human surgery? Yeah, absolutely. Especially because the clinic I went to is like a top clinic, so they also charge top euros, but that's totally okay. I never met him, so ain't my fault. Are you sure about that, Fuzzy? Are you sure about that? Einstein is judging everyone's clothes today because he is the most dapper gentleman. He is. Yes. I heard someone with a dog who needed some dentist stuff, and I overheard, and I was, oh my god, dentist stuff for dogs is insane. Like, those are insane costs. It's good to have, like, a pet health insurance. If you can get that in your country. That's always a good idea to have. Might not cover everything sometimes, but it definitely helps burden, like taking the burden of all of the costs off your shoulders at least. Gotta protect Einstein's one brain cell. He will invent something like life-changing soon. I hope so. He is currently cleaning his butthole. I think he's doing well. I drink. You're right. I should drink. Also, I had some watermelon earlier. A lot of watermelon, so I'm pissing like a horse today, but I'm trying to hold back. Oh yeah, I've barely paid anything. Mine hasn't had some weird event and otherwise is healthy, thankfully. Yeah. Lucy is a pretty healthy girl most of the time. But Einstein is my problem child when it comes to health. People pissy. You've been through a lot, piss all you want. Thank you, tokens. Thank you so much. Piss profit, pissing more likely than you think. Definitely more likely than you think. I mean, at least you have enough piss to fill up many jars. That's true. That's true. Very true. Also, Ellie, I've been really wanting to tell you this, but I needed to see your reaction to this story live. Okay, tell me the story. Tell me the story while I set up this game I want to play today. It's a spooky one. It looks really fun, but it is just a playtest, so if everything crashes, it's probably because of that. But you know how that goes with those wacky horror indie games. I made a short about that one time. Oh man. I think when I get paid, use some of the free money I can use to get the mouse. Oh, you mean like the merch one? Oh yeah, I want to see you play Cinderia. I'm not sure if I can play Cinderia on stream. Because I wouldn't be fucking talking when I play Cinderia. Which is why I kind of only recorded it until up to this point. Because I can't fucking talk when I play those fast-paced games. It's Song, I'm so out of my fucking element with that game. I'm not sure what to do. I don't think I'll get very far, but I'll try my best. Your merch mousepad? Yeah, man. I hope once my finances recover a little bit, I can actually get my own merch. Final Fantasy XIV was also out of my league, did not stop me. Zonk, weren't you a raider? Or am I like mixing things up right now? I thought you raided. Sounds like me with, yeah, an unsuccessful. I mean, you still raided though. That's fucking high tier stuff. Give yourself more credit. Sounds like me with Ultra Kill. I feel like I'd been playing for hours, but it was like 30 minutes. Yeah, honestly, I don't really play those fast-paced, like Souls-like and Souls-light games anymore. Because I'm old, I can't keep up anymore. But I put myself on a challenge a few days ago to play through Cinderia, which is a really, really like beautiful looking game, which is why I want to play it. But it's unfortunately very fast-paced, and I'm not sure how far I can go. But the challenge is basically to see how far I can go before I rage quit. So we'll see how that goes. I don't think I can play it on stream, though. I don't want to just sit there, like, you know, constantly quiet and not looking at chat and stuff. That doesn't feel right for stream. Which is why I'm recording it. I'm also watching more Poppy Playtime videos, and man, I'm excited for Chapter 6. Apparently the announcement might be very soon for it. It might though, not confirmed. Okay, I see. I'm gonna need to finish those games too. I miss it. I couldn't do anything during this heat wave and everything else going on. I'm so sad. I really miss I miss like proper content creation. I hope I can get back to it like very soon. But like streaming is like the first step now at least. So we'll see how I'll, you know. See, I'm putting in my time for Einstein. Everything is for Einstein. Fun fact, I really struggled with the word success. No idea how to write it. That's proof enough. I mean, hold on. All you missed in unsuccessful is a second S, but other than that, it's you typed it correct like the second time. Have you played Librarian, Tidy Up the Arcane Library? No, but I've watched Yumi play a little bit of it. She streamed it to me over Discord. It looks really cute. It looks very cozy. Okay, let me see what A throw. Hold on, I'm gonna need to sit down for this one. So I have this lesbian friend, and she invited me over to show me her Yuri shrine. And while there, she hands me this photo frame, which has really cute art of two girls kissing. Then immediately starts talking about her homophobic mom, which was a bitch in general. Yeah, sounds like it. And I found that weird. Then there comes the kicker. The frame that I was holding that came from the Yuri shrine was... I'm sorry. I'm sorry, what? The frame that I was holding that came from the Yuri shrine was her mom. It was made using her ashes, which is hella dark, but also really fucking funny. So she turned her her homophobic mother's ashes into Yuri. That is incredible. Holy shit. That plot twist hit me like a brick. No, for real. Oh my god. Hello, Sable. I'm so you came in at a perfect time, Sable. Hello, welcome in. It's good to see you. How do you feel about Yuri now, you bitch? Oh my god. I feel like more people should do that. Hi, Sable. I hope you're doing well. Oh my god. Oh, that almost made me a bit lightheaded. That's good. That's good shit. Oh my goodness. That's the kind of laugh that feels like it was needed. Yeah, yeah. I didn't have much to laugh about this past month, man. Not much at all. But that was really funny. I'm doing good. The heat wave still... Yeah, and another heat wave is coming up, guys. At least here. Please stay safe. More people should make their homophobic parents into Yuri frames. Yeah, exactly. I feel like it would heal the world a little bit, you know? I feel like that's a good idea. That being said, I'm really glad my parents are not homophobic. Start using it as a threat, definitely. I feel like that's a good idea. Okay. Oh man, guys, I really need to piss after that laugh. Hold on. Do you guys want to play Gardic on stream? Actually, wait, how long have we been live? 45 minutes, okay. I'ma run the ads real quick while I'm gone. I'm really sorry, but, you know, we can't escape those fucking ads. I'ma put some Gardic on for you guys, though. Hold on. I'm gonna have to set it back up, though. I think everything is expired by now. Let us let Nibby rest for today. She deserves to rest. Your favorite game is about to... That's crazy. LOL ads, I don't get ads. True. That is the YouTube superiority right there, Brandon. I can't deny that one. No ads on YouTube. Hold on, let me... Where do I put the link in? Here. Okay. I'll need to tell Nibby that story too. Absolutely. I think Nibby would appreciate it even more. Okay. Oh god, I'm sorry about the background noise too, guys. I'm gonna close the window once I'm back. It's very loud today. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go piss real quick. I'm gonna run ads and then I'll be back and then we're gonna play that game I was talking about. How do I run ads again? Oh wait, here, okay. There we go. It's been a while, guys. Okay. There you go. You guys can play. I return. Okay, let me set this up while you guys play. Thank you. Retro, you're doing so good. Easy. We did it. Okay. Nice. Very, very good. Good job, guys. I'm proud of you. I got my 1 in. That's enough for like a week, Fuzzy. I'm proud of you. Okay, I was in fact thinking about you a lot today while watching a horror game. Which one? Which one is it? Okay, there we go. Retro's really good at this game, right? Okay. Let me see. Okay, Thank you, Nibby. Oh god, I'm losing my voice. Hold on. Thank you, Nibby. I love you. Okay. Think about gifting it to you, but you have to play the other gift first. Yeah. I have to go through some gifts first. Don't gift me any games. I have a lot to play right now. For Tomali, oh my god! You know, I could have gotten a key for that one, but I kind of read the email too late, so it felt bad about like replying so late. So I didn't say anything. But yes, I agree that I would really love to play that game sometime. Oh yeah, Ali, did you hear about the regional gifting now? Yeah, they changed it, right? They changed the gifting. You can now gift like Steam games to your friends, no matter where they live. It's very cool. Hi, Alpha. I can gift a game. Which game? But yeah, and I know how much you love Poop Killer. I love Poop Killer. We still have to finish the series. There's still when did we... I think we stopped at the 3rd or 4th one. Wait, I can get Fear and Hunger now? I'm not sure if you can gift games that are banned in Germany, though. I don't think you can do it if it's censored, though. Yeah, I don't think you can get Fear and Hunger. I'm pretty sure that game is banned in Germany. Yeah, it uses the price that the gift recipient would pay for it. Yeah. I'm really glad they changed that. That got so annoying when you wanted to gift someone like a stupid game, but you couldn't because they lived somewhere else with a different currency. It was so dumb. Sorry, let me set up the game. So, as I said, this is just a playtest. If everything crashes... if everything crashes, it's probably because of that. Alpha, what did you just gift me? No. Man. Don't look... Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I already looked at it, though. I mean, not at the game, but like at the gift. Otherwise, I can't accept the gift. Did Alpha just ruin my plan? No, it's not that game. Fine. I'll accept it in a bit. I'll play it next time, Alpha. Well, yeah, just install it. I'm not installing and playing it now. You know how bad my internet is. I don't want my stream to crash. Can we see the gift Alpha gave? It's literally just called Scary Game, I think. I already closed Steam. Apparently it's like a game. I have to go in like blind. I don't know. Don't you have like 5? Alpha, I'm banning you. Get out of my chat. Not the scary game. Not the scary game. Hello, Stariane. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Thank you for the follow. Alpha has been banned. Yeah. Okay, this game seems a bit loud. Hold on. At least on the title screen, it seems really loud. Where's Ellie's bad internet? Where? Oh shit! Hold on, I don't want to click anything yet. Hold on, I'm not done setting up. What is it called? Night Plane. I'm gonna need to change the category. Give me a second, guys. I think it changed, but I'm not sure. Damn, Fuzzy. Nice balls. It is already on Night Plane? Okay, okay, good. Sometimes, I don't know what my stream deck is doing sometimes, but sometimes it just doesn't work, but I'm glad it worked. Yes, Retro, get some substance, please. Thank you for being here. Hey, thanks, bro. You're welcome, bro. Was the whole time, really? It wasn't on Just Chatting? Well, that works, I guess. I wonder why, though. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, hold on. All right, I think I'm done setting up. I can hear myself, though. I don't like that. There we go. Okay. You know the drill. If stuff crashes, we'll see how bad it is. I think around 7 p.m. I'm gonna go to bed. I've been awake since 1 a.m. Jesus Christ, Fuzzy. Yeah, please get some sleep very soon. Okay. Let's see what this game is all about. What was the flight number again? I didn't... Oh. The one to Wellington? What do you mean over here? Give me a second. Okay, this game has voice acting. Hold on. Oh my god, I'm lagging like crazy. Hold on. Give me a second. Ah, not what I wanted to do. Let me see. Ah. Where is it? There it is. Maybe it's one of those games that works better with VSync on? That would be really funny. Hold on. I think it actually does. It's one of those games where you need VSync on for it to not lag. That's crazy. Can you shut up? I'm on my way. Okay, hold on. I want the voices louder. VSync nerds win again. I'm not sure. I don't like VSync usually. But yeah, I guess... Alright, let's go get through security. Shut up. I'm on my way. Can I sprint? I can. Wait. Okay. Can you please? It's not a multiplayer game, so it's fine, I guess. That's true. But like... Give me a sec. Okay, first you fucking try to rush me. To get to you. And now you tell me to give you a second? Seriously? Oh wait, this is a good answer. Yeah. But yeah, Fuzzy, the thing with VSync is it usually doesn't go well with VTube Studio at all. Let him drink his steak. What is he drinking? Burn. So mean. He is mean to me. Alright, calm down. Let's get started on this orientation script that I meant to walk you through. Start tutorial.
You'll have to bear with me. These instructions are pretty weird. It's got stuff about use move to walk around, but I saw you walk in here, so I feel we can skip that. Then it says approach an NPC and press talk to enter conversation with them.
Drink water.
Why? What is... what is floating next to your head? Hold on. I feel like I can turn the game up a bit now. It's a meat pie. Yeah, but why is it floating next to his head? That's my question. Let's keep it on 75. Low on calories, maybe? Maybe. Also, Jesus fucking Christ, hold on. Oh no. They don't have a mouse sensitivity. This is gonna be awful. The mouse sensitivity is really bad. Alright,
I don't know what an NPC is meant to be, but I guess it's referring to me.
Yes, you're an NPC.
There's more stuff in the script, but it says we have to finish this conversation first.
How do we do that?
I guess we both just have to stop talking?
Makes sense to
I
me.
hope this is making sense to you, because it just seems like complete nonsense to me. Moving on.
No.
To take an item an NPC is holding, look at and press interact. Do this now. Hey, I need that. Give it back.
No, it's fine now.
Thanks. Look, I'm not enjoying this either, but I'm going to need you to cooperate so we can wrap this up. Anyway, hold sprint to run. Running will be very important later. Please attempt to run now. Thank you for demonstrating you can run.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Press crouch to crouch. It is important to remember that you can crouch. It is necessary for reaching some hidden locations and also helps you to hide from dangerous creatures. Press
What kind of creatures would
crouch.
be on a plane?
Again, stop crouching.
I did that already.
You will need a torch. A torch has been included in your... Ah, shit. Torch has been incled in
I got
your
his meat.
complimentary
Wait, I'm in the way.
Plane Airlines employee starter pack.
I got the meat.
Which I put somewhere over there. Sorry, I didn't realize it was meant for you. Thought it was some passengers' abandoned luggage.
I didn't pay attention to what he said. I was too focused on his meat. What did you want from me?
The script says to press interact to pick things up and put them down.
Give me that. Ew, that's his half-eaten pie meat. Okay. What does he want me to do? Oh, wait. This. I can inspect? Oh, okay.
Want me to repeat the last line?
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, again, it's spaced out. Sorry. Shit.
That's fine, but please try to focus. If it helps, the script says to press interact to pick things up and put them down.
Yeah, but what do I need to do exactly? That's my question. Hold on. You said inspect the meat? It looks really gross. But also kind of... I'm hungry, guys. I'm hungry. What did he say I need to do?
Want me to repeat the last line? Not gonna happen. If it helps,
What?
the script says...
What do you mean
to
not gonna
press
happen?
Interact. Want me to repeat the last line? You sure? This might be important.
I'm gonna skip the
Okay.
tutorial. It's fine. Hey, don't throw my luggage like that.
Not detecting any metal.
Yeah, let's go,
No,
right?
it means you forgot your torch. Occupational regulations mandate that all cabin crew have a torch for... I'm sorry, but it's my responsibility to make sure you've got the proper equipment. You can take this one. We've got a lot of spares.
Thanks.
No problem.
Oh my god, I can't throw... Hold on. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Looks clear to me.
Thanks.
Have a safe flight.
Okay. We skipped the tutorial, but it's okay. Let's go. Oh, there's someone. I ate a bratwurst this morning. Nice. That's a weird breakfast to have. You remember the chili I showed you the last time? Yeah? What about it? Ugh. Can't go to the person. You gotta get something in the baggage area? Well, we skipped the tutorial. It's fine. Hello, Ari. Einstein is doing pretty okay. How is yours doing? How is he doing? Hello. Yeah, totally. Glad to hear it, kid. And since you're not really on the clock yet, I'll let you... I'll let the casual tone slide for now. We're a team, and all good teams have hierarchies, kiddo. When we're up in the air, it's my job to bring us back down again safely, and I won't have overfamiliar chit-chat full of yeps and yes undermining our comms. Alright. Nice recovery, newbie. Now run along and grab yourself a coffee. I've got a bit more prep to do before we can start herding everyone through the gate. Sure. Fuck you. Alright. I don't need my baggage right now. Is that a hot dog guy dancing? It is. It's going. He's refusing to eat the dry kibble full of water, so we had to buy more wet food, which is expensive, but at least he's doing okay. Okay, that's good. At least he's eating something, even if it's expensive wet food. But at least he's doing okay. I'm glad to hear that. This really feels like an airport. Okay. What are you doing?
I'm advertising hot dogs for pie in the sky.
But they don't sell hot dogs.
Hey man, I don't tell you how to do your job.
Fine, sorry. I'm gonna drop you a DM too. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I haven't really looked at Discord. But yeah, drop me a DM. Okay, I'll let you know. I'll let you know if I can. What's up? What are you doing? I'm actually stashing my necklace here for a friend to pick up. Damn security says I can't take it on board. Wait, you can do that? Yeah, totally. Works really well. As long as they get here in time. Hopefully no one naps it before them. Huh, okay. Anyway, but... is that actually a thing you can do these days? I should ask someone at the information desk for the... why would a toilet be locked in an airport? Hey, what are you doing? That's an impressive commitment to lung damage. You're going for a record? Hey, everyone needs a hobby. Have you noticed that the cigarette is on your chin? Huh. He doesn't give a shit. Okay. I'm stealing your food. How are you doing? You're doing okay? You look like you just realized how expensive that meal was. Yeah, it hit me too late. Excuse me. Well, I'm stealing your food. Now I'm throwing it on the ground like an asshole. I can steal. Oh my god, I can steal everything. It's your first day, right? Here's a complimentary coffee. Oh wow, thanks. Enjoy your coffee. You too. Alright, thank you. Hold on. Why can't I? Okay, I can't throw the muffin. There we go. What the fuck? You work here, right? Yeah? You gotta unlock the bathroom for me. I gotta go real bad. Okay. Why do I have to... Oh my god, he's following me? Oh, go away! Wait, who do I... The person is way too happy to be working there? You're not wrong. Hey. Can I get the keys to the bathroom? Thank you. Shit. Hold on. Thank you. Oh, I can store the keys. Hello. I'm busting. Okay, hold on. Let me unlock the door for you, sir. I prefer to use the men's room, please. Wait, hold your horses? Wait, is that not... Oh, I guess... Okay, the graphics are fucking me over. Here you go. Go ahead. What the fuck? Is that a rat? Wait, what? You doing alright in there? Oh, wait. Okay. At least he closed. Hold on, can I poop? I can't even go in? Are you serious? Poop killer all over again, right? Dude, I can't even go in. Why is the light flickering? Leave me alone. Oh, excuse me? Why? Yeah. You know what? Sure. I'm gonna put it here. What else is in here? Hi, Mono! Jason, it's not Friday. It's not. Wait, speaking of expensive cat food, so I got this really expensive completely organic cat food that was really nice, and the cat seemingly liked it. One of them was even licking the plates after they finished it, then a week later they refused to eat it and demand the old food. Yeah, cats are really fickle like that sometimes. What happened in this one, I wonder? Alright, well, I guess I'm gonna leave. Oh my god, wait, am I a lady? I might be a woman. I didn't even know. Okay, I am a woman. I didn't know. Alright. I thought I was a dude too. I can flush the toilet, that's really good. Okay. Alright. Holy crap, women are real? I didn't know. I didn't think they were real. Why is there a muffin in... You know what? Sure. Why not, right? She's a woman. I'm a woman, guys. Holy shit. Let's leave them open, just in case. Oh, he's still struggling. That poor guy is still struggling. What's a woman? I don't know, but it sounds really scary. Also, hi, Rhea. I only ever heard of them in ancient texts. Me too. Alright, return the key. I don't mean to pry, but did that man get to the bathroom in time? He seemed to be in a lot of discomfort. Yeah, he's fine. Thanks for the key. You're welcome. Also, for the sake of For the sake whoever uses the stall next, could you check that he's left it in an acceptable state? I'll call the janitor if it's bad. Sure. Watch it be a watch it really be like a poop killer situation. What if it's full of shit now? Woman? That's a forbidden word. Now I'm scared. It seems acceptable. What's this? Oh god. Jeez. Jesus Christ on a bicycle. Oh, it's just you. Thanks again for helping me. Oh, I'm feeling much better now. You scared the crap out of me. Ah, man, sorry. I thought you were someone else. Who did you think I was? Oh, he flashed. That's not too bad. Yeah, it looks in good condition. It's hard to explain. Are you in danger? Do you need help? Nah, no need to worry. Once I get to Welly, I'll be all good. Okay. Later. Well, I'ma leave now. Don't ever fucking do it. Can you fuck off? What's up with you? Weirdo. Are you bringing a baby on the plane? Well, your face. I love his face. It looks so stupid. Was that a jar? Did he shit out a jar? Maybe. Do you think it's the one guy, one jar? Dude. Hello. Senpai, hi, how are you? Alright, well... What's happening to... Oh! Wait, that's the rat.
Coisa.
Excuse me?
Are you sure?
Are you talking to the rat?
Oh, that's terrible.
We have the rat whisperer here.
Oh, I'm sure the pilot has his reasons, but that doesn't make it right.
There was Portuguese? What did he say, Ari? What did he say? But that doesn't make it right.
What happens to me?
Can I get you some
Merda.
help?
I wish I hadn't asked.
I know what merda means. I don't think you even know I'm here.
What's a psychopomp?
What? What a thing base. Oh, okay. Senpai, thank you for the resub. I hope you're doing well.
I'm good HBUL amazing.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'm okay. I'm very tired for good reasons. If you want to watch the VOD, if you're interested in what happened, why I didn't stream for a while, it's in the beginning of the VOD. I yapped about it for like 40 minutes or so. But it's all good now. All I need to do is catch up on sleep. Other than that, I'm okay. Retro, what did you get?
Seems silly for it to be stuck in there, but I guess if I had to pick for myself, I would choose a shame.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. The eavesdrop's quite rude.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Let's just wait and see if they leave.
Awkwardly continue to listen. Hold on a second. I need to fix something. My shit's not working. Psychopomp is so strange. Crazy. Crazy world we live in. Hold on. Ah, fucking hell. Okay, there we go. Hi, Curtis. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well.
What a weirdo.
What a sorry, I'm the weird one? You were talking to a fucking rat. Why am I the weird one? Why are all the lights flickering in this goddamn godforsaken... I need to... What the fuck? Are you following me? What's your business? Yeah, that's right. Leave. Maybe don't stand there talking to a rat and people won't see if you if you need something. Honestly, airport people are strange. I don't really want to. Okay. You good? Oh wait, that's a guy that pooped. Why is he running around like aimlessly? Why does she remind me of Dio from JoJo? Oh my god, you're kind of right. Why are you approaching me? Yeah, that's right, leave.
Drink water, you dehydrated bitch.
I'll drink. She's approaching you now. It's Dio for sure. It can only be Dio. Oh, that's a cozy looking area. Oh my god, and there are plushies too. That's adorable. Why? Enjoying the view? Yeah. I mean, yeah, I was at first, but then I saw... Wait, what did you see? Just look over there, way out there in the trees. Do you see anything? Wait, something's knocking the trees around? Nah, not the trees. There's a freaking deer staring at me. I can't see any deer. What are you talking about? Like, way over there? Yeah, I don't see what you're seeing. Do you see the rabbits, Letty?
Bonza,
Bonza, hello?
fancy a refresher on the boarding process?
Yes, please.
Just turn on the computer to start. It'll do an automated boarding call and the passengers will start to queue up.
Yeah.
Scanning is easy. Just take a passenger's boarding pass and place it right there on the scanner.
Okay.
The boarding pass is legit. Give it back to the passenger and just tell them to board the plane.
Okay.
If there's a problem with their pass, or if they seem suspicious, you are allowed to refuse them. Also, feel free to interrogate them a bit. You're the one in charge here, and if they don't respect that, they ain't flying on my plane.
Okay.
Now, did you get all that? Or do you want me to go over it again?
I've got it,
Very
surely.
And here's the boarding checklist.
Alright. Handy cheat sheet to make boarding easy, at least for anyone literate in Alright. I'm literate in English. A cat? Oh my god, guys! I can pet the cat! Oh, it's hissing it. I'm sorry. I pet it too much. Game of the year, honestly. Welcome to your first day on the job. Who is this? Oh gosh, sorry. My name's Tofa. I'm the other flight attendant and really should be there right now to help with boarding, but I'm running late. Where are you? I'm pulling into the parking lot now. Jeez, I'm really sorry about this. Of course, today had to be the day where my battery's dead and all my tires are slashed. All of them? Jesus Christ. Oh shoot, looks like it's already time for boarding. I'll get there as soon as I can. But you're going to have to start without me. Alright, see you soon.
Who was that?
It was Tofa.
Oh, right. Where is she?
She said she's almost here, just finding a park.
Great.
Oh, sir?
Right, we can't delay boarding any longer. Look, we just got to get a move on.
What? What's wrong with her? What happens if you keep petting the cat after it hisses? I think it wants to kill me. Okay, this game slaps. It's great so far. How are you, Curtis? Are you doing good? Should I keep petting it? Alright, well, I think it's just a murderous intent, but I don't think anything is going to happen. Last week's newspaper. Newspaper dated May 29th, 1999. Okay, so we're in 1999. With the headline, New Zealand's beloved cat named Honorary Air Marshal. Okay. I love the noise it makes, right? Also doing good, a little Bab snoozing on me. Hell yeah. That's the good life. Alright. Alright, let's use this computer. Okay, so this is the ticket validator. How do I get out? There we go. Okay. Alright, we use the computer. Yeah, that's not what I want to do. Oh, are they coming to board now? Okay. Hi, ticket please. Oh, I have to put it like physically on there. Francis? I cannot fucking read this. Oh my god, I actually remember May 1999. My god. My god. Do I remember? Yeah, I do remember actually. Yeah. Got a lurk now. Get back to work stuff. You have a lovely stream, Ellie. Thank you, Eri. Thank you, thank you. Have a good work stuff. Okay. Alright, what else do I do? Hey, yeah, thanks again. I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't saved my ass back there. No worries, I'm glad I could help. Stomach still feeling a bit unsettled, but I'm not busting anymore, at least. Glad to hear it. Cause oh man, I was down to the wire. I hate to admit it, but those pot plants started to look real inviting. You didn't have to admit it though. He isn't listening to you. So once again, thank you. You really saved my life today. And I just felt that he should know that. Alright, how can I ask him questions though? So he's going to Wellington, gate 13, that's where we are. Okay, Francis, I guess... Yeah, you can leave. Alright. What if I don't let anyone board? Okay. Oh my god, please, for the love of God. George Chester. Boarding time. Alright. Have you been to Wellington before? It's a great city. I'm sure you'll have a great time. Okay, are you comfortable with providing assistance in the case of an emergency? I suppose. Any allergies or dietary requirements? Nope. Alright, welcome aboard. May I have your ticket? I don't know, may you? Oh my god, I hate you already. Oh, no, thank god. Okay. Alright. Say more butts. Yeah, I don't think I want you here. Could you confirm your name for me, please? 1 minute? What does that mean? My last name is Butts, first name Seymour. Yeah, okay. You can leave. A flight number? Nope. A flight number, boobs. Yeah, but I can't have him on the plane. Have you been to Wellington? They're famous for wrapping meat in pastry. True. God, I'm hungry. Alright. Steve Murray. Alright, alright, alright. It all seems alright. Wait, when is it? Okay. Have you been to Wellington before? No. Okay, these are all... Oh, I see, okay. Hi there. Thank you. Oh my god, I keep dropping it. Boom, got him. Percy Grayson. Yeah, okay, okay, it seems all alright. Have you flown with plane airlines before? No, never. Normally I would take an overnight bus, but these tickets were so cheap, it was a no-brainer. Alright, come in. I'll accept you. Why is the cat... The cat is hissing the moment she approached. I don't think the cat likes you, ma'am. That means I can't have you on the plane, actually. Judith. Judith is your name. Judith Crushley. Well, ma'am, the cat hissed at you, so I cannot have you on the plane. Okay. What are you sighing for? Pedro Grande. Okay, okay, okay. Seems alright. Are you doing alright? I'm fine. Alright, but remember I'm here to help. Thanks, I might have to take you up on that. Can you shut up? Wait, there we go. Okay. Susie King. Destination Gore? Gate 12? Ma'am, you're on the wrong... This ticket is for a flight at Gate 12. There's not enough time for that. You know what? Come on. Come in. Oh. I made it? Oh, is that Tofa? Sorry for being so frantic. I think I ran too fast and my blood sugar's crashing and... Oh gosh, I'm feeling super dizzy all of a sudden. What kind of fuck you serial killer shit is Destination Gore? Well, you know, I think she's gonna make things interesting. Yeah, totally. Just gotta catch my breath. You go get ready on the plane. I'll finish up boarding here. If you're sure. Ciao. Ciao, ciao. Hi. Alright, I'm leaving now, cat. I'll miss you. Alright, we gotta get in the plane. I mean, you're not wrong, but interesting is a bit of an understatement. She's gonna make me feel like Nibby is on the plane with us. Oh, that's loud.
Kia ora and good evening, everyone. This is your captain speaking, Captain Best. On behalf of all of us in Plane Airlines, I'd like to welcome you to flight PA665 bound for Te Whanganui Atara, Wellington.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, please do enjoy service from our fantastic cabin crew, and don't hesitate to let them know if you need anything at all.
The cat is here? Alright. Alright, I was sitting down. Sounds like a passenger in first class has a request. Yeah, I'm on it in a second. Hello. Okay. So this is business, right? Can you... What is your problem? Sweet Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Can I help you? For fuck's sake. Did that get you, Alpha? You good? I jumped watching. Good. Alright, attend to passengers. Could you get me a bottle of wine? A whole bottle? I quit? No, come back. Alpha, did you see the video I sent you, by the way? You should watch that, please. And then tell me you're not sitting on a gold mine. That's all I'm saying. Problem? Nope, you can have a whole bottle. Wait. I can take... Oh my god, I can take the cat with me. Okay. Oh god. The controls for this? I'm stuck. Okay, there we go. No. Past the steak. Chicken? Okay, hold on. That's not what I want. Close it. Oh, no! Oh my god. Oh. Wait. I can throw stuff at them and they react? Okay, what did he want? Wine. First you wanted to go to Gore City, now you jump scare me, Well, what's wrong with Gore City? Wait. Is this the wine? You good now? Excuse me. Alright, fine. Teddy! Hello, Teddy! Once again, the alerts are not working, but thank you so much. I greet the Le Prophet de Peace. Thank you. Alright, kitty, let's go. Then we could upgrade some people on this flight, you know? Why can't we seat everyone here? Stingy ass. Why are you... Hello? Are you good? Why are you going this... Oh my god. Why are you going this way? I want to go this way. Oh my god, dude. This is going... Okay, hold on. Hold on. What is Kitty's name? What should we name the kitty? You tell me. Oh, the kitty is purring. Oh my god, these controls are so fuck-ass, dude. Alright. Beefsteaky? Alright, beefsteaky it is. Hello, do you want something? Hi, you don't need anything, no problem, okay. Gerald, I like Gerald too. Beefsteaky Gerald. There's the baby, hello? I want to jump in the cactus bed. Me too, man, me too. Can I talk to the baby? Oh my god, can you... Alright. Oh, never mind. I cannot talk to the baby, okay. Alright. Damn, this flight is empty. Everyone's stuck in fucking economy. Hello? You don't need anything, okay. Oh, shh. There we go. Okay. Yeah, you know, smoking is not allowed here. Can I slap you? Wait, I can open these. Oh my god. I can be nosy. Was this the bitch that jump scared me earlier? This flight is like my brain, empty and cat. Honestly, very accurate. For me as well. Do you have any hot meals on your trolley? I'm starving. I had to protect my necklace on the airport and didn't get didn't get a chance to eat. Yes, what would you like? Chicken, please. Good choice. Amazing choice, sir. Here you go. Alright, so I guess they just talk to me if they need anything. Oh my god, this trolley, I swear to god. Yeah? Gore City, bitch. Gore City. the angels on your titties. Oh my god. Hello. Yeah, I guess they talk to me when they need something. That's it? Okay, hold on. Leave. Good job, kitty. Alright. What else do I need? I can provide you a cactus if you want. Oh, I can look through... Oh, that's cool. Wait, that's neat. Can I look through all the windows? No. Could you get me a can of soda? Good choice, of course. Now you want soda. You couldn't have said that like 3 minutes ago, huh? This is soda, right? I don't know my beverages. Where was he? In the next one. You can smoke on planes today if you don't mind getting thrown out mid-air. Well, I wish I could do that to this one. Okay. What are you doing? Hello? Sounds like a passenger in the economy section has a request. Sure. What was that all about? I'd rather get thrown out mid-air than have everyone know I'm the reason they have to land. Honestly, yeah, can I? Okay, I can't. What a shame. I wanted to see what the pilots are up to. Oh, he wants a soda now? After I pass him, motherfucker is getting his drink with no bubbles. I shook the can before I gave it to him, don't worry. He's gonna have a good time with that. Can you please ask that passenger to stop smoking? I can do that. I can also throw him out. Can you put that out? Yeah, sure. Thanks. Of course. She won't stop crying. I think there might be something outside the window. Yes, right there. Can you check that? What? Why is that your first instinct? Oh god, what is that? Excuse me? What the fuck is going on right now? Survive? Okay. Look at this post-it I have right now. It just says survive. Step Mothman? I hope it is. Meet me in the cockpit? Okay. Oh god. Oh jeez. What is happening here? Oh. My bad, Chief. Oh my god, these... You're in the way. Hello?
Terrain. Pull up. Terrain. Pull up.
Why did this what's the situation?
Terrain.
This is really loud. Hold on. Give me just a second. This is unnecessarily loud in my ears. It's so loud I can't see.
Pull up.
Okay.
Terrain. Pull up. Terrain. Pull up.
Something wrong with the captain. I think he's trying to crash the plane. What can we do? We need to get him out of the chair. There might still be time to pull up before we crash. Alright, let's do it. I'm so sorry, Tofa. Wait, what? Why do you want us to crash? No, come on. Don't tell me this is the end of the demo. Please. For fuck's sake. No! Come on. Wait, when is this coming out? Pull up terrain. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Well, I'm a wishlist this for sure. This was really cool. Okay. Hold on. Let me fix something real quick. Hold on. Hold on, hold on. There we go. Food break? Man, maybe. Maybe. Does anyone in here do vertical streaming, by the way? Or do you know someone who does? Because I have questions. I just remembered that that was a thing on Twitch now. Okay, hold on. Do I have anything else downloaded? Or should I just... I might just call it here for now. I feel like my voice is shot after talking for a while. I guess I'm gonna play something else tomorrow. I'm gonna play the game that Alpha gave me tomorrow. If I ever get to stream, I think I would never do any TikTok stuff. Yeah, I'm not even asking for TikTok. Twitch has vertical streaming now. And apparently, they really want to push that. So I'm just curious if anyone is even doing that. I'm just curious how it works. I know I probably can't do it anyways, because the way I stream is kind of different from how other people do it. Because I multi-stream, but I do it through a service, so I only need like enough bandwidth for one stream. So I don't think that service even offers me that chance to do vertical. I'm just really curious how it works. Because I would have assumed you output like twice as much when you do vertical too. So I'm just curious how it works. But yeah, okay, let me close this game. That was really cool. I'm looking forward to the full game for this. I don't know anyone, me neither. That's why I'm asking, because everyone I watch and know just doesn't even bother with it. I'm just very curious about it. But I guess it's not even that widely used. Because why would you do vertical streaming on Twitch anyways, right? It seems a bit silly to me. But I guess everything is optimized for phones now these days. I guess Twitch isn't any different here. Okay. Alright, now we're in just chatting. That's good. But yeah, I guess, is everybody's watching on their fucking phone? Yeah, honestly, I don't like watching streams on my phone. I don't like it. But whatever floats your boat, I guess. It's awesome to see you again, Ellie. I've missed you so much. Thank you. I've really missed being here too. I've missed streaming. I've missed making like actual content and stuff. I'm definitely gonna get back into it. Depending on the heat. Oh, hold on. It's really depending on the heat, but if it's not too hot tomorrow, I want to stream tomorrow. And yeah, I'm gonna stream more often again. I'm not entirely sure when the Monday collabs are gonna come back, but Foxy, Nibby, and I will keep you updated on that as well. I don't really like it either. Yeah, exactly. It's weird. I don't really like watching it on my phone. Don't go, Nibby. I'm sorry. I feel really tired. I know it's only been like 2 hours, but I feel really tired. It's kind of wild how much energy it takes for me to get back to streaming. Thanks for stream, Ellie. Take care. Remember, you can write me for distraction. Thank you, Zonk. I appreciate it. Hope you're able to get some good ass sleep. Honestly, today I'm planning to like get some sleepy time tea at like 9 p.m. and then we'll see when I pass out. We'll see. We'll see if it helps. I just hope I can catch up on some sleep. But yeah, that I could catch this one. Thank you for being here, Cordis. It's good to see you. Thank you, thank you. Drink sleepy tea at 9 p.m. Yeah, that's the plan today. Clock the fuck out at 9:01 p.m. Yeah, I hope that's what's gonna happen. Oh man, I wish. But yeah, it was good. It's good to be back. It was good to see you all. Thank you for listening to me ramble for 40 minutes straight about my cat. You guys are updated now. It's all good now. I can get back to streaming. Now, the only thing that's holding me back, maybe, is the heat. When it gets too warm, I won't stream. But when the temperature is nice enough, you can definitely expect a stream from me. I miss you guys. Bye, Ellie. We can't wait for next stream. Thank you, Senpai. It's good to see you. So yeah, thank you for hanging out with me, guys. It was fun. Let me see. I think Foxy is streaming, right? I'm gonna send you guys over to my Oshi Foxy. Yeah, that's gonna be the most comfortable option for me right now. Foxy is playing Minecraft, so it's nice and chill. Also, if you haven't seen it, I'm sure everyone, all of you have seen it yet, but Foxy has a new model, a Live 2D model, and it's so cute. I love it so much. Take care, Ali. Have a good snooze too when you get there. Thank you, thank you. I will. Jeez. It's Foxy is never chill. Well, about as chill as Foxy's stream can get, I should say. Also, she has a very funny hat on right now. I like it. All right, let me start up the raid. Thank you for the cheese as well. Wait. Oh yeah, hold on. I did that the wrong way. I need to do it in this window. There we go. Okay, we're going over to Foxy. Wait, we have a raid message. Raid 1 for the... if you're subscribed. And raid 2 if you're not subscribed or if you just like the cow. I'm gonna take the cow today. Yumi! Hello! Thank you for stream today. I love you too, Nibby. Thank you for being here. Please message me if you need anything. And you, Fuzzy, have a good sleep. And Yumi, be safe. We just landed. Yumi, be safe on your car ride home. I might be back on tomorrow, if the weather allows me to. But yeah, let me stop yapping now. I'm gonna go now. Bye bye. There we go.